Hey everybody, welcome to Matt Men, your source for all things professional wrestling. I'm Andrew Zarian, and live with me for the first time in about 100 days. More than that.
Oh my God.
No, probably 100 days, yeah. First time in over 100 days because I was sick for a while.
Yeah.
We didn't do a show.
Yeah.
The one, the only. The OJ to my breakfast.
Oh my God.
Rich Stambolian.
Oh, Jesus. I thought you were going to say the OJ to my Al Cowlings.
To my Simpson?
No. To my White Bronco.
No, not my, no.
Terrible.
No.
I'll be the orange juice to your
Look what
to
we're
your
drinking.
breakfast. I know. We're doing a little mimosa today. A little mimosa action.
So you are live in the studio. This is a shot
here.
that most people have never seen.
I'm here, baby.
This is, for a lot of people, this is bizarre. So we're social distancing to some extent here. Normally, Rich sits right here. I mean, literally, if I put my arm out, I'm touching him.
I could breathe him.
A lot of people don't realize how small the studio is.
It's a good size.
It's a great size,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the first thing people say, they come in, they say, they go, oh my God, I thought this place was way bigger.
Yeah.
Because it just looks, there's a lot of moving parts. So you're on the couch, a shot that normally we don't see. So normally, I mean, here it is.
What's that?
Rich is hanging out on the couch today.
You say on the shit?
On the shit, yeah.
This shit on this guy.
We're having some mimosas. It's the first time we've done a show. We missed our 300th episode, obviously, doing it live together. We had planned something big, but
we're making up for it.
A global catastrophe kind of gets in the way of things like that. Then now we're in a. I have figured out what's going on.
Tell me.
I mean, the big joke is that this is The Sims. Right.
Yeah.
And my assistant just texted me and she goes, I want my sim to just burn alive at this point.
Oh my God.
She's like, I'm done. I'm done playing this. It's insanity. I'm like, we're not The Sims, dude. This is the final season. We're closing up loose ends to this experiment that is Earth.
Do you think so?
Oh yeah. I mean, this is the final season. We got canceled on whatever intergalactic TV show we're on. This is a reality show that has been, we're all in the Big Brother house. And
on the planet.
On the planet. And this is the final season.
On the spaceship called Earth.
Last night, I don't know if it's something I like. Like, I'm into true crime stuff also.
Yes.
The Madeline McCain story.
Is that when she killed her husband?
No, Madeline McCain went missing.
Okay.
She was a 3-year-old girl in Portugal. She went missing.
Okay.
And they apparently found some tremendous evidence pointing at this guy in Germany that's in prison. I was like, they're just closing up loose ends. They're wrapping the season up, and we're done. It's over. We're canceled.
I asked Vicky the other day, my very Greek wife. I was like, how many more things before Jesus comes back?
Oh, we're there.
Like 2 or 3, right?
Yeah.
It's got like
the locusts. Well, the locusts have to,
2 or 3 like major crazy ass events, and then it's like Messiah comes and we're all effed.
Yeah.
And,
I hope everybody's staying safe. Obviously,
yes.
It's New York City is not a pleasant place to be in for many reasons. Obviously,
was it ever?
I got asked a lot from people like, "Are you guys going to make a comment about this?" We try to stay far away from this stuff. This has to be your escape.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you're protesting, that's your right. That's amazing to do it. If you're breaking freaking windows, not really for you, dude.
Right.
The buildings in the city where I work, all destroyed.
Yeah.
We have no glass, luckily. So there was no glass, but they tried to break in. It's a whole thing. I mean, it's a total disaster, but things are going to get better.
Absolutely.
I promise you guys, this is not the end of the world. Things are going to get better. We're going to be in a whole better place in a couple of weeks. So
absolutely,
let's enjoy what we can. Everybody needs a little escape.
The biggest thing that we can do collectively is listen and keep our ears open.
That's it.
And that's it.
That's all you can do.
We're here to get your mind off stuff and entertain you.
So
let's do it.
I'm not going to go into detail, but I got asked by a friend of mine that has a very successful business. Just multi-million-dollar business.
Is it the bagel guy?
Huh?
Is it the Long Island bagel guy?
The Long Island bagel guy.
Angry bagel guy?
The angry bagel guy. He asked me, he's like, listen, you do PR and stuff. You do public relations stuff. People are asking me to make a comment. Should I make a comment? I go, do you feel comfortable making a comment? He goes, well, I want to say this. And he told me what he wants to say. I said, you do not say that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I understand what you're saying. It wasn't hurtful or anything, right? But he's like, I really want to say this in this way. I go, no matter how you present what you want to say,
right,
it's gonna be bad. So I suggest not saying anything. If this is what you want to present, and listen, the guy is a tremendous guy. He just, what he wanted to articulate would not be able to be explained in 140 characters. Let me just put it that way.
I wish you used the word tremendous in describing his mass.
No, he's a slim. He's a very svelte guy.
He's a tremendous guy.
So this guy does not listen to me, and he puts out what he wanted to say. And I read it, and I wrote, "Oh no." I texted him, "Oh no."
Yeah.
He got destroyed.
Of course he did.
Listen, we gotta listen, like you said.
That's it. Gotta listen.
Not everything is implied to be bad. If someone says something, there's more to it. The internet is the worst for explanation and to have a topical discussion about something. Everything is hysteric. So that is the reason why I stay away from politics.
Exactly.
That is why I stay away from a lot of these subjects. That's why we talk about professional wrestling.
Exactly. So we're here to entertain. We're here to bring you a good time, get your mind off all the nasty stuff that's going on. We hope we do a good job. We love you guys, and let's rock, dude.
Listen,
let's do it.
We got a busy week of pro wrestling. Obviously, we had a very good AEW last night.
Ooh, so
the last 2 weeks, man, they've done a home run. I really enjoyed last night's AEW. I was talking to my wife, and you guys know Jess is not a big wrestling fan whatsoever.
Nope.
Vicky as well. I think Vicky's a little bit more tolerant than Jess is.
No, Vicky, at this point,
she's over it.
Like the only, honestly, like I think maybe 10 minutes of AEW is what she can stand.
Okay.
But as soon as she hears like the Elite theme song or the Young Bucks theme song, she's
over.
It's like she turns into like the Tasmanian devil.
And she hates it.
She hates it so much. And she's watching today too.
Okay. So I think she's into, she's into science fiction. She's into a little bit into comics. So she's a little bit more tolerant than my wife. My wife sees it as a business.
Okay.
So she accepts it because like I'm involved in it and she like tolerates that aspect of it. But last night I had AEW on and she turned around and she said to me, these guys do a very good job at making you care about a match when I have no idea who these people are.
Yes.
And I go, you know what? And I was watching it, and I thought it was interesting that she picked that up. And I said, well, what about it? He goes, she was really into the Cody Jungle Boy match because of the hype. And then for some reason, she really liked the Chris Jericho and Colt Cabana match. And she said it's done in a way, it doesn't look the same every time they present the match. Okay. And I thought that went far, right? Like if we're talking about professional wrestling and just overall attracting new eyeballs. For me, I always feel that about them compared to WWE. Like that Kenny Omega and Hangman Page tag match to open the show. Yeah. It was a slow start and then it picked up and it got good, right? But why would we care? I mean, I'm going to ask you this, right?
Sure. Yeah, please.
Because when I saw the match headline, I was like, I'm into this. Why do we care when it's, Kenny and Hangman versus Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian? You know that match is going to be, what the finish is, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right? Why do you care about that match?
Me personally, this is your question now.
I'm asking because I'm going to tell you my reason, but you tell me why you when you see it, forget about seeing the match. You just see that's the match. You see Jungle Boy Cody, you see Colt Cabana, Chris Jericho. Why do you automatically go, you know what? This looks great.
Well, immediately, because I think maybe you're going to have the same answer, or at least slightly the same with a little variation, is that we're both such wrestling fans at this point where it doesn't go beyond being a mark, but we're very observant, right? And I think something like that comes into play with a match like this, where like immediately the first thing I thought was, ooh, this is going to be a showcase for Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc. Yeah. They're going to put these guys over. They're still going to win, obviously. They're going to flare it. They're going to put these guys over. You're going to see some cool stuff from everybody. And it worked. Like Hangman and Kenny, they tagged in Japan. They have good chemistry. They're polished dudes.
Really good chemistry together.
Really good chemistry. They're very polished. After the Double or Nothing Stadium Stampede, it solidified them even more as a tag team. Yeah. And I do like that they clink the belts now.
They clink the belts. Yeah. Their finish is great.
There's the last call, right?
Last call.
Yeah.
Very really nice. Yeah. I really like that finish. For me, the reason why I care, it's never, I've never seen it. Right. Like, how many times, let's say this is Randy Orton and John Cena versus Dolph Ziggler and Cesaro. Right. You don't care about that. No. Right? Like, I mean, that's all that came to mind. Like, why do I give a crap about this? But I don't care about the other side. I think it has to do with the fact that the way that it's presented. We were at a Evolve show, Rich and I believe you were at that one.
Which one?
Chris Hero and Dick Togo. Were you at that one?
Maybe.
I gotta tell you, I went to this. Maybe I was with Coco. It could have been with Coco.
Maybe a couple of the Evolve shows. I got pretty loaded on $3 beers.
You're kidding me.
So you remember, like we kept like just like.
You know who did it with me? Bob.
Really?
Bob went to Evolve with me.
Smashing beers like Stone Cold.
That's one of my happiest wrestling moments.
Really?
I've gone to 2 shows with Bob. How nuts is that?
I want to go to a show with both of you, and I want him to put you on his shoulders.
Yeah, like a kid.
Yeah,
he does it. He buys me like clothes.
Buys you merch.
He buys me merch and then puts me on my on his shoulders, and he takes me to the train. Bob went to Evolve, and I don't think he's ever experienced wrestling. Like the last wrestling he experienced was at the Garden. It was like Bruno or Superstar Billy Graham, Bob Backlund at the Garden, right? So we go. I think it's hysterical that he got to see Evolve from the stage area.
Oh,
and he freaking loved it. Loved it. And we did the whole, like, go to the bar, give me a 6-pack of, Modelo or whatever, Corona, whatever beer they have. We do the 6-pack. We just sit there and we just pound them down. He freaking loved it. Then we did New Japan.
Oh,
me, Bob, and Josh.
Yeah.
Think about that combination.
Yeah.
He freaking loved it.
Yeah.
Right? What? My point was, for that one of the matches that always stuck in my mind was Dick Togo, or Dick to Go, as Bruce Pritchard and Conrad Thompson say. Dick Togo and Chris Hero in the main event. Why does that stand out to me?
You've never seen it?
I've never seen it.
And you like Chris Hero?
And I do like Chris Hero.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. These are matches that you've never seen. You've never even thought that you wanted to see. Chris Jericho, Colt Cabana.
So
it
good.
doesn't, you know what? It was a really good match, but who fathomed that match?
Exactly. It must have been a dream for Colt, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
And people, and I tweeted this out yesterday, like people forget, or like people who don't know who Colt Cabana is, or people who have seen his comedy wrestling, which he's pretty much what he's known for, right? As a quote unquote comedy wrestler. But the dude can go, like he had some great comedy stuff in New Japan, but he also had some really hard hitting matches. And also, like, I always bring this up, his NWA series with Adam Pearce for that NWA title, like, the dude can go.
The guy could go 100%. 100% the guy could go.
He's polished. He's smooth. He does. Honestly, this dude does such a great moonsault.
Dude, it was so good.
Yeah.
So, again, we're going to talk about, obviously, NXT and WWE. But last night stood out to me because they did nothing that was a big, hot angle.
Okay?
I'm dying.
Oh, my God.
I just died inside. That's how I died. It wasn't a big, hot angle for anything that they did. They just did. I don't know. It stands
solid
out to
wrestling.
me, and I don't like overly liking something when we do a show.
Okay.
Because then you get accused of being biased, and obviously you like AEW.
Who cares?
I'm gonna tell you, they've done a great job at presenting something I want to watch.
Every week. You get a little something.
I'm going to tell you, there was a big slope, though. They hit right before the new year. Do you remember we were like, not a great show. Not a great show.
A couple of them were a little, like, not floundering, but, like, it just seemed like a little rushed together.
They had, when they first launched in October, they had about 6 weeks of TV written.
Okay.
And they did well with that. And after that 6 weeks, it kind of started wobbling a little, but they were able to kind of regroup, and right before the mass pandemic happened, they were doing really solid TV. They were about to hit 1 million viewers. We were there. We were at the 1 million mark. Obviously, right now, TV ratings are going to be all over the place because people are watching the news. They want to know what happened. Monday night suffered one of the worst ratings in Raw history. They were, I think, the rating was a 0.08 for the final segment, which is bad. They were in the 40s as far as most watched television. Obviously, everybody was watching news. Listen, I was watching news.
Or they
Monday
shut their
night.
TV off.
Sunday night, Monday night, everybody, being in New York City, you're seeing what's unfolding, and it's unbelievable.
That was a stark realization for my wife and I. We shut our phones off the entire weekend from Friday afternoon until about, like, maybe Monday, 8 o'clock. And I looked at her and was like, the world's on fire. I don't really want to watch Raw right now.
it's hard, dude. You know, you really. It's obviously I don't want to keep going back to it, but
it's hard.
It's hard not to talk about it. But it's also you're going to see this, and you know we're living in a unprecedented moment with everything going on.
Fucking nightmare.
Forget about the TV ratings. You know, I watched it. It was a nice escape.
Yeah,
and we're here now. So NXT on the other side had their go home show. They don't do a great job with these go home shows.
They don't for some reason, right?
I don't know why. I'm curious why, because the last pay-per-view that they had, the go-home show, was just a recap. Your phone does not want to stay on the couch.
No, not at all.
Does not want to stay on the couch. Just put it in the...
Put it in the ascot?
Ascot, yeah.
I put it in my bra?
Yeah, put it in your brassiere. So they really... The last one was like an hour interview with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, the last go-home show.
Cool, yeah.
This one was a little different. Obviously, it ended with Drake Maverick getting a contract and Phantasmo winning the Cruiserweight title.
That's kind of interesting when you think about that, right? Like, do you think it was a work that he got fired, or do you think he legit got fired and won their graces back?
He was fired, and they cut him unknowingly what the plan was for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Because he'd still have to be in the tournament.
He'd still have to be in the tournament.
Yeah.
So I think his termination was an oversight. It was just an accounting. This is
an accounting error.
No, like it's the corporate entity overlooking and saying, well, who are we making money with merch? Who are we making money with this? Who's the most valuable to us? Who doesn't want to be here?
Sure.
Right, like Gallows and Anderson were cut because they were expressing unhappiness and they wanted to leave. Aaron Banks, $5 here. What's your thoughts on Jericho saying if you didn't like the Stampede match, then you don't have a soul and you don't like wrestling? I'm going to tell you, I am on that side. I was not crazy about the Stampede match, and that's fine, dude. I don't have to like it, but I did. I love the Undertaker match, right? Like if we're talking like, cinematically shot. I liked Money in the Bank. I didn't really like the Stadium Stampede. I think
I'm on the other side of the fence.
You liked it. I know you did.
I loved it.
Did you rewatch it?
Absolutely.
Okay, because
I watched it like 3 times.
Because here's the thing, right? And we were I was talking to I had Sean Ross Sapp on Friday. We did an interview with him. Actually, I did it. I didn't even tell Rich.
I know.
Rich got mad.
Naughty
at me.
boy.
He got mad at me. He's like, dude, can you just let me know? I'm like, you turned your phone off.
That was the second thing I saw when I turned my phone back on. I was like, the world's burning, and son of a bitch.
So Rich turned his phone off on Friday, and then Sean messaged me, and he's like, hey, let's do something. We were planning on doing it, so we figured out the time. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, I'll tell Rich.
Imagine if we were the same guy.
Me and you?
No. Me and Sean.
You and Sean are the same dude? I got you. We had a great interview with Sean. I'm going to tell you, nice dude.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart.
Like a sweetheart of a guy. It's always great having him. Brian Alvarez, I believe, next week.
Cool.
I just got to figure out the time. Getting Brian is getting harder and harder with 2 kids.
Oh,
Both of us with 2 kids.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know he had kids.
Yeah, 2 kids.
I didn't know he was married.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's getting harder to kind of do that schedule. But we had Sean on, and we were talking about, how we watch stuff. Right? Like, you got to watch it as a fan, and you got to watch it as someone that's covering it. And it's very different. Like, we do the watch-alongs. Rich and I drink throughout the whole thing.
It's the best.
And then by the end of the show, we're in a very sedated state, I guess.
Let me tell you, the Double or Nothing was so much fun.
Doing the show.
Doing the watch-along all the way through.
Money in the Bank, same thing.
They're all a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They're all a lot of fun.
But your perspective changes when you're watching with people, when you're watching in live, when you're watching by yourself. Everything is different.
You know why? I'll tell you why. Because I think when we watched the Stampede match, doing the watch-along, we really got blown away by all the quote-unquote high spots. And we were like, this is amazing. This is awesome. This is great. But then I think from your perspective, when you watched it over, you didn't like the in-between stuff.
I didn't like the in-between stuff. So I watched it again the next day.
Yeah.
Sober and not, changing the cameras.
With a notebook. And
yeah, the whole thing. And I was like, didn't do it for me.
Okay.
It went too long. Everything went too long that night for me.
Okay.
I don't have to like it. But that's the great thing about wrestling. Listen, there's certain things that you could watch and you could say that is one of the best. Kenny Omega, Okada, their series, probably the best I guess, 3-match series I've ever seen. I would say that the second match I liked better than the last. Every match was phenomenal, but there are people that do not agree that that's the greatest pro wrestling match.
Can I pose an analogy towards you?
Yes.
Okay, so I feel like whenever I get asked about wrestling, because people know I do this wrestling show, and we've been doing the show for close to 10 years, right? So like, oh, what's your opinion on this and that? And I'll go immediately, pretty much, I'll go, the series between this guy called Kenny Omega and this guy called Okada in Japan is awesome. I equate that to telling somebody who loves going to Applebee's that this nice restaurant down the block will blow it out of the water.
Yeah, interesting.
And they'll go, F you, I'm sticking with Applebee's. I think that has a lot to do with like wrestling fandom, where it's like they don't, and this is not a knock on anybody, but I think it takes a little maturity to want to expand your palate with regard to certain things. And I think that kind of stuff definitely falls into that category. Like I know people who like for their top dollar, like the Booker T and Goldust tag team was the epitome of pro wrestling, you know?
Yeah.
Or people who think the Bellas were the greatest divas of all time.
There are people that believe that.
Right. So it's like, it's very much apples and oranges with everybody, but I'm going to use that Applebee's analogies because I think it's true.
I like that.
It's not even like, I don't impose my will on anybody, but it's like, oh, if you like this, you'll probably like this. No, I'm going to stick with the street hot dog instead of going to Nathan's or whatever, you know?
Yeah. I got to tell you, my dad freaking loved that Okada Kenny Omega match. He couldn't believe it.
It's great.
He couldn't believe that match.
Because you believe it.
Because he got into it, and I was like, Dad, you want to watch this? He's like, yeah, let's watch it, because he he likes wrestling, and he goes, I've never seen anything like that.
That's interesting. Your dad's an old school guy. My dad's an old school guy. I remember showing my dad Nakamura versus Ibushi from I think like 3 Wrestle Kingdoms ago, and he was like, what's going on?
You know what my father calls him?
Who?
Nakamura.
What?
Shitstain Nakamoto.
Oof.
That's what he calls him.
It's terrible.
He also calls Booker T Booger T.
Yeah, I know that.
And John Cena's John Cena.
John Cena? John Cena?
John Cena.
But my dad believed it. He was like, oh, these guys are killing each other.
Yeah.
You know, I think last night I had a nice little moment where I was watching AEW, and we always talk about why we like wrestling. And the thing that popped in my head is I just really like seeing people fight each other. You know?
Realistically,
that's it.
Well, that's why
like,
combat sports are big.
You know,
we talk about this all the time. There are people that would have been pro wrestling fans that never got into pro wrestling because MMA's become so prominent.
Right, and I'm not a big MMA guy. I just like this level of theater.
Yeah,
it's like the adrenaline rush is fun for me. You know,
yeah, me too.
I like seeing big chops. I like seeing big slaps. Like all that. I think the chop may be my favorite wrestling move.
You love the chop.
I love the chop.
I'm sure we're going to be chopping each other in a little bit.
Oh, my God.
So I really enjoyed last night. Wednesdays have become my wrestling night more than anything else, and I love the fact that I'm doing the back and forth.
Yeah.
It's not as satisfying as it used to be because I have YouTube TV.
Right.
So there's a delay when you go back and forth.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Would it be more satisfying for you if you were single and like in an apartment with your buddies than having to keep your eye on like all this stuff that's going on, making sure your kids don't set the house on fire?
I don't know. My kids are sleeping by the time wrestling's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're out cold at
early
7.
bedtime.
7 o'clock.
Good for them.
My daughter's in bed by 7:30. My son's in bed at 6:30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for them. And he sleep through the whole night?
I just got a message, by the way, from a coworker, and goes, I need you to bring Jess another mimosa ASAP. I'm doing a fucking show.
Also, we drank all the champagne.
Jesus. Also, we drank it all. Thank you. I need a minute.
Mimosas and Madmen, baby.
Mimosas and Madmen.
Keep it going.
Okay, so let's do NXT in your house. Pay-per-view this Sunday. Are we doing a watch-along?
Yeah, why not?
Let's do it. NXT TakeOver in your house, taking place this Sunday at Full Sail University.
I'm gonna look at this card real quick.
Yeah, so we got 6 matches announced for this pay-per-view. Not a great job at building interest, but this pay-per-view looks like it's going to be great. So we'll talk about this, and also we'll talk about Fighter Festival and what they're doing. Fighter Festival and what they're Fighter Festival.
Fighter Fest
and what they're doing.
Jeez, dude.
So
okay.
We'll go through this. First of all, we got Mia Yim. We got
Shotzi,
Mia Yim,
Shotzi Blackheart,
Tegan Knox, versus Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and
Raquel
Gonzalez.
That's going to be fun.
6-woman tag match. We got Keith Lee and Johnny Gargano for the
NXT
NXT North.
Yeah. How do you feel about Shotzi Blackheart?
I'm not a. I don't know. I need to watch more of her. I know people love her. There are a lot of people that are into her. I gotta just watch more.
Big natural explosive gimmick that she brought from the Indies.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
They didn't give her that. For once, I like when WWE takes the semi lesser known indie people and say, "Oh shit, that's what you're doing on the Indies. Stick to it."
Cool. Yeah.
They gave her like a little tank and everything. You know,
she was in Shimmer.
Keith Lee versus Johnny Gargano for the North American
Be a great
Championship.
match.
Yeah.
Are you over Johnny Gargano?
I'm not over Johnny Gargano. I think
he got kind of lost in this.
I think he got lost when they went to USA.
Yes,
because he was Mr. NXT.
Yeah,
when him Ciampa,
too many turns. That thing took too many turns. The Ciampa stuff.
I think honestly, it's your concentration on physically bigger people.
That's the direction they've gone down.
And that's the direction they've gone in USA.
Yeah.
Right. I think that hurt him a little bit because he's like, out of all those dudes, he may physically be the smallest guy on that roster. Right?
Yeah.
Besides Drake Maverick.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweetheart, great wrestler, but like, you know, like that big man mentality.
Yeah. Then we got Adam Cole, Velveteen Dream, in a last chance backlot brawl. If Dream loses, he can no longer challenge for the NXT Championship while Adam Cole has the title. This has been a strange build. I think some of it got affected by that weird thing that happened with Velveteen Dream and his Instagram that we never figured out what actually happened.
Nothing came out of that.
Nothing came out of it.
Can't speculate, you know?
So listen, if nothing came out of it, in WWE, you got to remember, they are playing very careful.
Yes.
And this is a company that would terminate him. They realized it was probably nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that kind of hurt the build in the beginning of this. And now, by the way, that match has been filmed. It's recorded already.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're doing a pre-tape thing. I'm imagining all the cars around them with the lights on and, you know, just fighting in outside.
I wouldn't mind it if it was a recreation of the Hollywood Brawl.
Oh, dude, that'd be great.
Right?
Yeah.
And imagine if Dream does like a little Piper Goldust deal. Because like he's been coming out.
Well,
like,
when his shirt gets ripped, he's wearing
panties. No,
yeah.
I'm saying like he might like because he's been coming out on pay-per-views as classic wrestlers.
No,
right?
he may do Goldust. Yeah.
Goldust / Piper. Imagine if he does half Goldust, half Piper with the kilt.
Oh man, that's freaking awesome.
You can go any direction,
Love it.
man.
I hope that happens. You've been a prophet recently, so
WrestleDamus.
You WrestleDamus. We got Finn Balor and Damian Priest in a singles match. I'm assuming this was supposed to actually be the Finn Balor and Walter match.
Yes.
Which is not happening obviously due to travel restrictions, but Damian Priest is weird.
Okay,
he makes me uncomfortable.
Can I cut you off for a second?
Yeah.
Okay, so months and months and months ago, there was a triple threat match. I think it was Killing Dane, Damian Priest, and somebody else. And all I did on Twitter was not rip on Damian Priest, but be like, "Oh, Damian Priest looks like and this is a new one.
Yeah.
Damian Priest looks like the type of guy. He looks real mean, but he looks like the type of guy that not only buys his mom a lot of flowers on Mother's Day, but all his friends' moms flowers on Mother's Day. Just like stuff like that.
That was a match where they had 500 high spots.
Yeah,
false finishes
all big
everywhere.
Dudes.
All big dudes,
Yeah.
false finishes everywhere.
Why does it make you feel weird?
He makes me uncomfortable. His voice.
Just knows like this.
Yeah, Punisher Martinez makes me very uncomfortable.
I don't know what he sounds like.
You know what? You never.
I just made
you really don't know.
Yeah.
He has a very deep and proper voice.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
His voice is almost like what's his name? Loki.
Okay.
You know how Loki has that voice?
Yeah.
It's like a Loki kind of voice.
Whatever happened to that guy?
Loki?
Yeah.
He's in I think he's in
Yeah, see?
No, he's in MLW.
He's in GCW?
He's in MLW.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he has a pretty cool gimmick in MLW.
He's an interesting dude to talk about, I think, with regard to everything he's done in pro wrestling, and he was such an indie darling at one point.
What was his WWE name? Caval.
Terrible.
Yeah, really bad. He was trained by Homicide.
Yeah.
Just bizarre. You know, this is the Northeastern wrestling thing from that era. Phenomenal talent. He's 40 years old, but he never went to He never did the big thing.
Well, he was on WWE for a while, and then he got bounced, right?
He was on WWE for like a week.
And then there was like
New Japan, Old Japan, TNA. He's gone back and forth. MLW. He's doing great stuff in MLW right now.
There's always backstage stories about how like he took liberties and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem. And then what else do we have here?
Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Shirai.
Okay, cool.
That's gonna be fun. I'm gonna go Io Shirai because I think she's the underdog in this.
Okay, interesting. I'm gonna stick with Charlotte.
I think Io Shirai deserves a run with that belt now.
I'm going to go Io Shirai takes the pin, and then you build it up for a big Rhea Ripley-Charlotte match SummerSlam weekend.
I think they can do that without the belt.
Without the belt?
Yeah, I think you're going to see...
you know what? I kind of like that.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Io Shirai... Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley can't get separated enough to concentrate on the match, and Io Shirai gets the pin. She wins.
Interesting.
And they think Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair think they cost each other the match, so you get that big match at SummerSlam. You don't need a belt for those two.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. That's cool.
Yeah.
And then we got the main, not the main event, but a big match: Tommaso Ciampa and Karrion Kross with Scarlett Bordeaux. She's just Scarlett now.
Yeah.
Leave it to WWE. Make her look like an old woman.
You think so?
Yeah.
With the short hair and the...
Yeah, why? I mean, well, her hair is put back, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, they've really... I mean, she's a beautiful, like a stunningly beautiful girl.
Keep going.
like an unbelievably beautiful, I mean, bombshell. And they've kind of like hid that. I mean, and that's... She has a very unique look.
What would Tony Soprano say about it if she worked at the Bing?
Listen, that broad, she got the whole package. She's our star. She comes in 2 days a week. It's fine.
What voice is that? What voice did you do?
I can't do a Tony Soprano. I'm doing a regular goon.
Okay.
It's my regular.
I'm doing a regular goon.
Just a regular goon.
Everybody who fought Spider-Man in the 1960s cartoon.
Charlotte, come here. Scarlett, come here. Listen, do me a favor. You're gonna go get my prosciutto, and then you're gonna tell Carmella to shut the fuck up.
No, that's not it.
I don't know what that was, but I liked it.
Okay, perfect. So this is this Sunday. Obviously, we're gonna have a lot of fun. We'll do a watch along. You guys could join. We'll do call. You guys could call in. The phone system's working now. By the way, I'm gonna do this right now. I'm gonna see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're not doing callers, but if you want to call in right now, here's your chance.
Please do.
You want to do it?
I want somebody to call in. I know it's gonna be Carlos.
It's going to be Carlos?
I feel like it's going to be Carlos.
How about Sean?
I feel like it's going to be Sean or Carlos.
Okay. Totally impromptu.
I feel like I want to talk to Carlos because I felt like he was really Transylvanian and not from Arizona.
Okay. So there's a good portion of our audience that does not watch the watch-alongs.
Really?
So we have started taking phone calls during the watch-alongs. The podcast listeners have no clue.
Really?
We don't put the watch-alongs on the podcast. Oh. It's just YouTube exclusive. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to open up the phone. Phone number is 888-828-1437. That's 888-828-1GFQ.
Okay.
If you want to call in right now, here's your chance. I'm only going to take one phone call.
I think you should take two.
I'll take two phone calls.
I think you should take two phone calls.
I'll take only two phone calls.
I want to hear this.
If you guys call, this is
good.
your chance.
I swear to God.
Call in. I'm never going to do phone calls on the regular Matt Men ever. This is your one opportunity. We're going to do a different show. Rich and I are talking about this. We'll talk about it after the show. We want to do phone calls on the show. We want to do this whole thing.
Yes.
We're going to do a second show where it's more of a traditional radio production.
With a couple of guests.
Phone calls, things like that, right? That is what we're going to do. We're never going to do it on this version of Matt Men because it kind of messes up the dynamic. But if you want to call in, here's your chance.
I also want somebody to call in and saying instead of first time, long time, they say big time, small time.
Big time, small time. That's how you guys do it, okay? So if you want to call in, call in. If not, then it's fine.
Big time, small time?
What do you think? What did you think of AEW's presentation of Taz and Cage?
All right. I'm fine. I think I've never really heard Brian. Yeah, slam that down. I've never really heard Brian Cage talk. There's an egg yolk in that, by the way.
Oh, perfect.
I put an egg yolk. It's like a prairie oyster. You ever hear that? Prairie oyster?
I've heard it, but what's in it?
Prairie oyster is just like an egg with Tabasco and Worcestershire sauce.
Ugh.
It's like the ultimate hangover cure.
Ugh.
Anyway, I've never heard Brian Cage talk. All I've seen of Brian Cage is him being like a really like buff big dude who can do a lot of crazy stuff. Packaging him with Taz in my head makes sense because this company is actually utilizing their legends very well. Do I think Taz could be very grating sometimes on the mic and draw attention away from the talent? Yes, I do. Do I think they're a good pair? I think it's too soon to tell. Do I think Jon Moxley surprisingly is way bigger than Brian Cage? I was shocked.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, height-wise, yeah,
taller.
yeah.
I was shocked because it was the same shock I had when. This might be a running joke with Moxley.
I'm gonna give you one. Very exact same thought, but with somebody else.
Okay. I think this might be. I don't know if this is right or not. To me, it seems like a running joke with Moxley, where it's like they'll put him with a heavy that's nowhere near his size, and immediately thought of Jeff Cobb. When Jericho was like, "Here he comes, he's gonna destroy you, Mox," and Jeff Cobb, and you're like, "Oh, he's a big dude, he's a big dude, he's a big dude," and then he steps into the ring with him, and Mox is like 6'4", big. Yeah. He's like a muscularly dense and big boned like dude.
Yeah.
Right. Not like a jacked up dude, but he's a big dude.
Big dude.
And I think when you put like a quote unquote big dude like that next to somebody who's muscular and short, it doesn't add up.
So I get that with Cody. I never realized what a big
gigantic.
dude Cody.
Cody's gigantic.
First of all, you want to know how big Cody is?
Cody and Goldust are gigantic people.
Just watch the main event from yesterday. Him and Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy's like a normal sized person.
Exactly.
5'9", 5'10".
Normal sized person.
Right? Then Cody comes up next, and Cody is thick. He's not
big
this
dude.
svelte guy. Like, he's not this thin. And in the WWE, you kind of get this idea that he's like one of like the smaller guys, like the leaner guys. This guy's tremendous in size. And then now you gotta, like Zack Ryder, great example.
Yeah.
You put Zack Ryder next to everybody, you could tell he has a good physique. Yeah. He takes care of himself, but he's more of an athletic look and less of a bodybuilder look. Right. You take him out of that equation in WWE and you put him in like AEW, for example.
Or anything.
This guy is huge.
Tremendous.
It's wild.
I think that's part of the perception of WWE, quote unquote, like the whole Land of the Giants
thing. He's 6'1", by the way. Cody is 6'1" and probably like 220.
Comes across massive.
Do you know how big 6'1", 220 is? It's wild.
I remember when I was like 17 or 18, we went to like an Ozfest in New Jersey, and they had a free WWE signing with like a bunch of ECW guys there.
Yeah.
Jericho, Dreamer, Bam Bam. Bam Bam just showed up.
Jericho.
What
year is this?
This is like 99. Like right when he got signed.
Oh, right before he got signed.
No, like right after he got signed.
Oh, so it was just like a regular signing.
Yeah. It was a regular signing, and it was like a free signing outdoors. And I remember being like, yo, these dudes are so huge in person. Like, Dreamer is gigantic in person.
Oh, yeah, he's huge.
We got a phone call?
We got a phone call. All right, let's see if I can do this. You guys ready? Let's do this. Call, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Corey from New York. I believe it's big time, small time.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Corey. I just want to say, you are our first caller ever officially on Mat Men.
Yeah, dude. Congrats.
Thank you.
Hang up on him.
Just a quick question. I want to get your thoughts on this Impact Slammiversary hype video that came out this past week, basically playing off of the 20-plus guys that were released by the WWE, which, the 90 days will be up 3 days before the pay-per-view. They had Rockstar Spud, who now apparently is back full-time with the company. They had all these other guys. You think this is basically a publicity stunt that will come back to kick them in the ass? Or what do you think of this? And do you think this gives them relevancy again? Where do you think this goes?
Corey, that's a phenomenal question because I think it's the 15th that the contracts expire and the pay-per-view's the 18th, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so, we know Rockstar Spud's not going.
Right.
Right? Like, that we know. Who was in the video? They showed Rockstar Spud. They showed Gallows and Anderson.
Rusev.
They showed a Bulgarian flag because they have no Rusev footage.
Right.
And they showed Micah Maria Kanellis.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the most likely is Micah Maria.
I'll go.
Most
I'll throw
likely.
Rusev.
You're gonna go Rusev.
I'll Rusev in there.
Rusev. You know what? It's possible with anybody except for obviously Rockstar because he's signed still. But I would say it's possible for anybody to do a one-off.
Absolutely.
Gallows Anderson could do a one-off. Micah Maria could do a one-off. Zack Ryder could do a one-off. Kurt Hawkins could do. I mean, all these guys. There's so many possibilities of a one-off. If I were to guess, I'm gonna go with Micah Maria, but because they were there already. But it's quite possible it could be Gallows and Anderson. Anybody. What do you think, Corey? Who's your pick?
I would think definitely EC3 would be the definite person who.
That's the other one.
Great.
That's the other one. There you go. That's the one.
EC3 and most likely I could see Gallows and Anderson and possibly Rusev for maybe like a one-off. But I think the bigger question here is this something that would make people actually care about Impact? And I mean, living in New York and I have Cablevision or Optimum, we don't get Access TV. So, I mean, I have to, if I care to watch, I got to watch Twitch, which is not exactly the easiest thing to care about or even use. So, I mean, I don't know if it's going to make me go and watch it or anyone else. So, I mean, I don't know if this is just the 100th opportunity for them to try to get people to watch. I don't know how many people besides the diehards are even going to care. I mean, I do, a podcast of my own, and if it wasn't for, following Twitter 95% of the time for news, I don't even know if I would have even noticed it was, something to care about. So I don't even know if people are even noticing it even happened.
No, you're absolutely right. I think for most wrestling fans, they're not going to care, but there is going to be a segment of that cult, that internet culture that's following this, that's going to want to tune in to see what's going on. I think here's a big problem with Impact, and Rich and I have discussed this all multiple times. The problem with Impact is that they're doing really good TV. Yeah. And nobody's watching it because obviously access is not available on a lot of cable providers. The name is kind of tarnished. When you have Impact and you have NWA, and NWA is getting more buzz than Impact is, that's a problem for them. That's a real problem. Corey, what's your podcast before I let you go? Great call. You're the first caller. I want to give you a plug, and I want people to go check it out.
The Work Shoot Wrestling Podcast.
Work Shoot Wrestling Podcast. Corey from New York. Where in New York are you from, Corey?
The Bronx.
The Bronx. The Boogie Down. Well, stay safe.
Don't do that.
In the Bronx. It is the Boogie Down.
You have to take that back.
No, I'm not taking it back. I'm keeping it. It is the Boogie Down. Why? I'm not allowed to say that, Rich?
Do you also say Strong Island?
No, fuck them.
God, no.
Fuck them. Corey, thanks so much for the call.
Thanks, Corey.
Man. Take care. Dumped them out.
Big time, small time.
Big time, small time. Corey, everybody go check out his podcast. Phenomenal call.
You forgot the name of his podcast.
Work Shoot Podcast.
Nice. Good job.
I remember everything. I'm like an elephant.
No.
I don't remember yesterday.
You're an elephant in regards that you have very chaffed skin.
That was a great call.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, Corey.
I think we're going to do a call-in show. Did I tell you? I knew he was a podcaster. You know how I know?
Because
he spoke so well.
Yeah.
His presence was perfect.
Is that what gives it away?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard what you sound like on a podcast?
I hate it.
Yeah.
Don't listen.
Everybody, it's me, Angel Zarian. We're talking about wrestling. You talk like I never said this to you. You talk like a 1920s Kentucky Derby announcer.
It's the affect, the radio affect. It's the affect of being in radio.
You sound like you're on a megaphone from 1932.
That's what I like. I'm into that. That's the sound I'm going for.
Are we taking another call?
No, that's it.
Also, I'm kidding. You do a great job.
No calls, and you're not kidding. I'm not accepting it.
I'm kidding.
Question time, guys. Submit your questions here in the chat. You can submit a question. It's our question segment. Dude, this mimosa.
This guy, I like how you flubbed right after you were like, clarity and conciseness is what makes a great podcast.
Listen, I drank a half a bottle of champagne right now.
You did.
At before 12 o'clock. So
my wife got super drunk yesterday. It's the best. I hope she's still watching.
Did she get trashed?
Oh yeah, she did. And I was asleep for the whole thing. I had like one small cocktail at night, and then she's like, I'm gonna have one too. And then at like 3 a.m, I looked over and she had like another cocktail, and then I saw like the bottle of tequila on the.
Did it end well for her or no?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's the problem.
She just texted me that she's having more tequila now.
Oh, perfect.
I think she's got a problem.
I think so too. You know what? I think she has a problem.
I think she's got a problem.
Yeah. Submit your questions in the chat before we wrap it up. Let's see. What do we have here? Normally you go through the questions.
I know, but I'm free as a bird right now.
I know, and this is very difficult for me. Guys, submit them again.
Oh,
whatever question you had asked.
Should I just jump over there and grab that laptop real quick?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just so I can see the questions?
Yeah.
All right. I hope this is not another white wine incident.
He talks like Vince on commentary, says Blue White Prince. Me. And hold on, you want me to do my Vince on commentary? And here he goes, Shawn Michaels off the top. 1, 2.
No, he doesn't.
That's my favorite. I love that. I do that commentary in my head. I did that last night in my head while I was watching AEW.
Doing Vince on commentary. One of the most underrated, can I just tell you, the most underrated commentator in history. One of the best. One of the best. He has a question. Does the Jeff Hardy alcohol angle turn you guys off for SmackDown? I gotta tell you,
baby.
So I was Sean Ross Sapp pretty much told me right after the show. He's like, oh, they filmed this really big angle afterwards for SmackDown, like a huge angle, and they're really like champion this angle. When I saw it happen, I wasn't as, I guess because I was kind of prepared for a big angle. Wasn't like, ooh, that's a little uncomfortable. Obviously, Jeff is kind of in on this.
He has to be. He also has to be in on it enough to be like, yay or nay.
But, I mean, the fact that this guy did get hit with, I mean, he's had multiple substance abuse problems and DUIs, and he's not out of the clear. It's not like a guy that's been in recovery for multiple years, whatever. Yeah, it's a little but if Jeff is comfortable doing it, then that's fine. Who cares? This has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, it has not, are you saying that personally?
Personally.
It's got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. I love it when wrestling goes real, and I don't care. I think like we're of the our minor generation of like, we're not very sensitive. We don't really give a shit. We know the line between fantasy and reality.
Yeah.
And it's not going to bother us. It's not going to disturb us unless somebody comes out and spews hateful or unlawful rhetoric.
Yeah.
We're not going to be like, oh, they shouldn't have done that for poor Jeff Hardy, bringing up the sins of his past. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? Blue-Eyed Prince missed my Vince. You got your one shot. I can't do it again. That's it. Do you think we will get the old school in your house set? I don't think we're gonna get like the total set, but I think there's gonna be elements of the in your house set. What do you think, Rich?
I would love it, to be honest, but I don't think it's gonna go like old school. I miss a good set. I was watching a Backlash from a few years ago, like the other day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, what happened to these beautiful
sets?
Like Backlash had like the big Reaper claws coming out and
well,
shit.
You know what happened? The HD, when they went to HD, the aesthetics didn't look as good on TV.
Okay.
And the cost to produce a set that looked really good on TV, it started getting a little up there. So they figured out that they could just do LEDs and kind of hide that. Do you remember WCW used to do just a blue curtain, a black drape with like diamonds on it, with like studs on it?
Yes.
That was their whole set with a screen and whatever. You can't really do that as well in HD.
That's interesting. I think it took them a while to figure out the HD thing too, especially with regards to makeup. Because remember when they transferred to HD, everybody just looked like remember RoboCop?
Yeah,
everybody looked like Emil from like he got messed up in the sewer.
Oh my god,
everybody looked like
dude. Shawn Michaels is the best example of when they went to HD. They put so much makeup on this guy because he's a Heartbreak Kid. He requested youthful. Huh?
You requested it.
All the makeup. It looked terrible. It looked terrible. That first HD show, everybody looked so bad.
Shin's got a great question if you could read it.
Yeah, go ahead. Which one? How did Rich feel in the Mystery Mobile?
Mobile.
Mobile?
Mystery Mobile?
What's the Mystery Mobile?
The van from Scooby-Doo.
Oh, the Scooby-Doo with those two potheads.
I think Shin's calling me Fred.
Yeah,
because I got like this thing going on. Shin, I'll have you know, Frank Welker did the voice of Fred, and he also did the voice of Megatron, so I'll take that as a compliment.
That is a nice question. Renus in the chat. Do you guys know if the NXT wrestlers ever got that pay raise they were promised when NXT went to USA? That's a great question. I think they did. I got to follow up. I got to ask about that, but I believe they did. It was like instant boost.
An extra $5 an hour.
It wasn't like this tremendous boost, though. By the way, it wasn't like oh, you're going from $75,000 to $300,000.
Imagine if
they got a nice boost, though.
Imagine if they got paid like $17 an hour, like straight like minimum wage, no salary. Just
I gotta tell you though, these downsides now really look good for these guys. Whoever has a good downside guarantee, because there's no house shows. You're working 1 day a week. How great is that for these guys?
It's pretty nice, man. That's what we do. We work 1 day a week.
I don't think they're ever going to go back to a full touring schedule. I think they're going to realize that the house shows are becoming a thing of the past. They're going to do these big shows in big markets. They'll do less touring, higher prices, and higher merch prices, and they'll make up the same money, and they'll save on travel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bob, for COVID purposes, shouldn't Rich be wearing a beekeeper helmet? I left it at home. Bachelor 3000. Which wrestler's clothesline you always like to see over the years? Ooh, great question.
Great question.
Stan Hansen.
Bradshaw had great clotheslines, great lariats.
Loving the Hangman.
Loving the Hangman. I would say probably for me it's Bradshaw.
Yeah,
great clothesline.
Stan Hansen.
You like Hansen?
Stan Hansen's my favorite clothesline for two reasons. One, he hits you for real, and two, he hits you for real because he wore glasses. But never wore glasses to the ring, so he couldn't see his opponent.
Yeah, he was blind.
That's why he'd hit you for real. Stan Hansen also put Vader's eye out with a clothesline, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Popped his eyeball out.
Look up Stan Hansen clotheslines, man. If you want to see like a 6'6", 350-pound Texan just demolish people, it's kind of the best.
He was blind as a bat.
Yes.
That was the thing. Rick Steiner also had a very good clothesline. Good question.
Who's Matt Riddle's first major feud?
On SmackDown?
I guess so. And is from Mr. Gonzo.
You know what? I'm gonna go. They're gonna do The Miz. Are they gonna do Cesaro? Are they gonna do Ziggler? They're gonna give him one of those guys. I feel like that's like the bar when you come in, you feud with those guys for a little bit.
Sheamus.
Right, listen, dude, he may do great on SmackDown.
I think so. I would honestly.
What if it's Styles?
Styles would be great. I wouldn't mind seeing when all this stuff gets better, Roman versus Riddle in like a nice feud. I feel like those guys would work well together.
Did Riddle and Angle work together on the Indies or no?
I want to say no.
Yeah, I don't think they did.
Apparently, the rumor is that Angle turned down being his manager.
He did turn it down. He doesn't want to be on TV.
Interesting.
But maybe that's a WrestleMania match between the two.
What's the name of the guy that just called? Corey? Corey asked a question. Last night, the graphic said, new Cruiserweight champion. Thought it was for the interim title. What does this mean for Jordan Devlin?
I think Devlin's going to have a contendership as soon as he's able to. But I don't think that they see it being a temporary, a short-term thing for him not coming here and working.
Bachelor 3000, $199.
Nice.
Thanks, bud. Shin corrected my statement. Vader got smacked with the bull rope first.
And then the lariat.
And then the lariat knocked Vader's eye out, in which Vader had to push his eye back in. Now that's wrestling. Nick Foley getting his ear ripped off. That's wrestling.
Do you guys see Adam Cole going to AEW, especially considering that some of the comments made by Britt Baker? I think he's going to, he's positioned himself to be in a nice bidding war because he's a tremendous asset to the WWE. This guy he doesn't have the size, but if this guy just got a little bit bigger.
Well, let's talk about something.
Yeah.
Real quick. Okay. So you have the Elite, you have the Bucks, Cody, Kenny, Hangman.
Yeah.
Maybe Marty, maybe Flip, right? I think another group that is very solid in their decisions are Undisputed, right? Because Cole,
Fish, and O'Reilly, yeah.
And Roddy, like, they seem like they're a very well-oiled unit, and I think they all got signed around the same time, and I feel like if one of those guys go, the others are going to follow.
That might be a great coup. That actually may be a tremendous coup.
Which would be cool. But do you see them fit in AEW? Do you see them elevating AEW, or do you think they still have a lot of work to do in WWE?
I don't think he's going to leave. I don't think Adam Cole or those guys are going to leave. They're very comfortable where they are. Obviously Adam Cole's the biggest star in NXT right now. He's been very long-term champion. They have a big plan with this guy. I don't know how it's going to translate on the main roster. He has everything to translate well. He's a good promo, really good promo. He's great in the ring.
Great look.
Great look. And the crowd's behind him. The whole boom thing, the Adam Cole baby thing. It's
very charming.
It works. I don't know if what their plan is for him in AEW. Obviously, you can see him getting a big push. His girlfriend's there, his wife, girlfriend, fiance, whatever it is.
Sure.
She's there. So I don't know, but NXT's been great to him. So he may not want to consider leaving.
Plus, I think Tony Khan is very smart in the regard of who can we bring into this roster that won't hurt the undercard.
Yeah. And it has to mean something, right? Everybody that they bring over there has to mean something.
FTR, I think.
Great acquisition.
Such a great acquisition. And did you watch the interview yesterday?
Yeah.
Great interview.
Yeah.
I like that they're gonna fight Butcher and the Blade next week.
Let's open this.
Yeah. I'm doing this. This is pretty good, man. This high noon sun sips.
Yeah, but that's all vodka, right?
Yeah. Vodka.
I got a Bon Vive spiked seltzer.
I like Adam says, is that an ascot? Rich Nelson Riley. That's what he did.
There you go. Yeah. If Cole drops a title, then it's telling of his future. I don't know when his contract's ending or anything, so we'll see what happens. Any more questions?
I like how Mr. Gonzo worded that very sinister.
If Cole drops a title, then it's telling of his future.
Telling to his future. When does Gronk return and how?
Oh, that's a great question, Bob. Gronk's playing football.
Gronk's done.
Gronk's done. So next, I think probably he'll be back right after that season.
Yeah.
He only signed a 1-year deal, right?
He only had 1 year left on his contract, on his NFL contract, and I think he got traded.
He went to the Tampa Bay.
So to the Tampa Bay.
The Tampa Bay.
So maybe he'll show up in AEW.
No, he's definitely going back to WWE. That guy had a ball. I wonder how WrestleMania would have been with him as a host, like actual WrestleMania.
I think you would have seen less Gronk.
Do you think they would have announced that he's signing with the Buccaneers if he was there?
Like this just in?
Yeah.
Breaking news.
I want to let you guys know I'm back. I'm going to play football in Tampa.
Hey, listen,
what a great announcement.
That's a good idea. Did you just come up with that?
Yeah.
Or did you think about that?
No, just now.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
That's why you do what you do.
Yeah. I'm like, maybe that was the whole thing.
Good job.
Because they waited. It was announced the following week that he's going back to football.
That would have been cool.
So maybe that would have been the big moment there.
Do you think they would have given him like a microphone and he would have done like a big
Yeah, because he was going to be the host, right? So his announcement would have been, by the way, I'm back. Big. It would have been a tremendous story all over the news. ESPN, everybody would have picked it up.
Like a big Lou Gehrig speech?
Yeah, big Lou Gehrig speech. Today.
Mm-hmm. Bob says, is it a Tom Brady and Gronk tag team for next WrestleMania?
Oh, can you imagine that? Who are they facing? Tom Brady and Gronk.
Mojo and Roman Reigns.
Our truth.
Just our truth.
Just our truth. That's it. Let's see what else we got here.
Aaron says, with no TV or movies being filmed, are you surprised Cena hasn't been around to help ratings? Cena's got his own thing going on, right?
Something's going on with him.
I think he's coming out with like a wine.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Is John Cena coming out with a wine?
Yeah,
he's got a new girlfriend, right? Aren't they engaged?
I think his wine is called You Can't See No Noir.
You Can't See No Noir.
Yeah. That's a total lie, by the way.
Love it. I don't know, man. I think Cena's kind of burnt out with this.
I want to meet John Cena.
Yeah?
Like,
I would, if you give me John Cena and someone else to interview.
Roman Reigns.
I would rather do Roman.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Why?
John Cena gives nothing.
Do you think you'd be outclassed, outschooled, and outsmarted by John Cena?
No, I just think that he's like Derek Jeter. He's just company man.
Do you like Derek Jeter?
Don't like Derek Jeter.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I'm not a Yankees fan.
You look just like him.
I do.
Yeah.
The beard and everything.
You look just like Derek Jeter.
I get that constantly.
You're the Derek Jeter of podcasting. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Can I give you 5?
Yeah.
All right. John Cena. Roman.
Okay.
Seth. I'm just going to give you WWE guys.
Okay.
Undertaker.
Okay.
I'm taking Undertaker off.
No, because I want to pick him.
Right.
Yeah.
I figured you'd pick him.
Yeah.
All right. Cena, Roman, Seth, Ziggler, Sheamus.
I would do Roman.
Mm-hmm.
I would do Seth, do Sheamus, do Ziggler, and then Cena.
What's the first question you'd ask Roman Reigns?
What do you use in your hair?
Believe that.
What product do you use?
Believe that. That's his answer for everything. You know, he does a. Did we talk about this? How he does a cameo for $250?
Does he really?
Yeah, he's on Cameo. Yeah, we talked about this.
He's on Roman.
We went. I'm pretty positive we went through an entire list of wrestlers on Cameo a few weeks ago.
He is. Yeah.
What would you have Roman Reigns say?
Oh, temporary unavailable. I want him to wish me a happy birthday.
Yeah,
but sing it.
Really?
Yeah.
Matt Hardy actually. I think Matt Hardy's cameo is worth it because he, in character, sings "Happy Birthday."
Roman Reigns did every one of his cameos in one day. I'm looking at this,
Good for him.
and I think he was like, "This isn't for me. I'm not doing this.
I'm done. Believe
I'm
it.
done." He did 18 cameos, and that was it. Never did one again.
That's fine.
He's over it. I do want to go down this cameo rabbit hole with you.
I want to be the Bobby Bonilla of
Montel
Wrestling
Jordan.
Podcast.
We could get a Montel Jordan cameo. Cedric the Entertainer.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh my god.
Peter Weller's on there. Peter Weller's like $200. RoboCop.
Is he really?
Yeah.
So my wife watched RoboCop for the first time.
When?
On Sunday.
I'm gonna talk to her about it.
Okay. I got to tell you, we took edibles, and she was
she horrified?
She was horrified. She was kind of in and out, and then I watched RoboCop 2. She watched none of RoboCop 2.
RoboCop 2's okay.
I got to tell you, it's not bad. RoboCop 2 is a decent sequel.
RoboCop 2 was written by Frank Miller, and Frank Miller was in it.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
And I like RoboCop 2. It's a decent sequel. I like where they went with it because it was very post-apocalyptic.
Nuke.
The kids are spray painting Robo. You know,
Yeah.
like he looks all weird. RoboCop 1 is
Masterpiece.
I love it. It's such a horrifying friggin' movie.
It is. It's a horror film.
Yeah.
It's a freaking horror film.
Unwilling Frankenstein.
Yes, unwilling Frankenstein. This poor guy, tormented.
Yeah. Like that scene where he goes to the house and it's empty. And he keeps seeing the flashbacks of his kids and his
they're
wife.
like, you can't go back there.
And all he has are like 4 memories of his family. And that's it.
And the wife sees him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Why does he? That's the only memory he has
That's all
left.
he has. But then at the end of the movie, they're like, what's your name, officer? And he's like, Murphy. Murph.
I got to tell you, though, him outside of the RoboCop uniform, him as a regular cop.
Yeah.
You know how old he is now?
He's like in his 70s.
Yeah.
Great career. Buckaroo Banzai. RoboCop.
Terrible. Very uncomfortable voice on him.
Yeah.
Makes me uncomfortable.
Imagine if you podcasted like this.
Oh, Murphy. He can't even say it. And just his head he just looks tortured, this man.
Shin says, I'm the one guy that liked New RoboCop. I did not mind New RoboCop.
I haven't seen it. I don't want to see it.
Is
it the same story? Is it a different RoboCop?
Yes and no. It's not Peter Weller, obviously.
No, but do they say, is it a remake, or do they say that this is another version?
It's a reboot.
So it's the original. It's Officer Murphy.
Yeah, it's Murphy, but his transformation into RoboCop is effing starkly horrifying because the only living piece of him is his head, his spinal column, one of his hands, and I think his heart. And they put him into the suit every time he has to go out. So he's just it's scary. He's just like a floating head and a spinal column, and they lower him into the RoboCop outfit. But it was an interesting movie. They made him kind of look like the ninja from Metal Gear.
I don't like the new outfit.
Right? But Neil Blomkamp, the dude who did the District 9,
yeah,
he's doing a new RoboCop.
There's another RoboCop.
Like he's doing basically RoboCop 2. So they're taking like RoboCop 1 from 1980 whatever,
yeah,
and now it's like this is going to be the official sequel in like 2020 whatever.
Okay. I know we're off for wrestling.
Who cares?
I would ask you, I'm going to ask you this off the air, but I'll ask you now. So the next RoboCop movie
will be a sequel to
RoboCop 2
or 1.
But this one wasn't.
Right. This was the 2014 one was a reboot, and it didn't really do too well.
So are they scrapping that whole concept?
Yes.
Oh, that's all gone.
So that's got RoboCop 3, maybe RoboCop 2, and then Reboot are gone. And then it's just whatever this is going to be.
So they got 1, 2, and 3, right? 1, 2, and 3, the original.
Right.
And then you had the reboot.
Right.
And then what is this one in the lineage of 1, 2, and 3?
2.
This is RoboCop 2.
Yeah. This is
They're making RoboCop.
Apparently, this is supposed to take place right after
RoboCop 1.
Yeah.
Interesting. So it's just a reboot of RoboCop 2.
Kinda, but like the rumor I heard about the story was it's gonna like they freeze him and it takes place like years and years later.
Oh, so maybe it's after RoboCop 3.
You know?
They froze him.
No,
RoboCop 3 does not exist.
Oh, does not exist. Jetpack RoboCop does not exist.
So I explained to my wife, like, Terminator Freak. We watched Terminator 2 also.
So
We're going through that whole thing. So I was explaining to her, she's like, shouldn't I see Terminator 1 before I watch 2? I go, no, you don't need to see 1 before
you don't
2.
Need to. It's a good movie though.
What, 1?
Yeah.
RoboCop 1, Terminator 1 is a horror film.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like Mike Myers.
Yeah.
Right? It's not, you don't need to see 1 to see 2.
Correct.
All you need to know is that, like, just like, oh, Sarah Connor, the son, the father that was sent back.
But they give you a recap in Terminator 2.
They give you the whole thing in the beginning because they knew it was such a different movie that, by the way, phenomenal movie. RoboCop 2 is awesome.
Terminator
2, sorry.
You're getting your robots confused.
My robots are all fucking confused. Well, now they're fighting each other and, you know.
Aaron Banks, $2. Thank you, sir. Peter Weller voiced RoboCop in the new Mortal Kombat DLC. Yes, he did. Very excited about that. I didn't download it yet.
Creep.
$40 creep.
Why does he call them creep?
Why not?
Just makes me uncomfortable.
There was a Canadian RoboCop series that may be available on Amazon Prime, and it was 4 hour-and-a-half episodes, and it's so cheesy.
The made-for-TV movie?
Yeah.
It was on ABC.
There's 4 Canadian made-for-TV RoboCops.
Is this different than the ABC one?
Yeah. I didn't even know about the ABC one.
There was an ABC RoboCop series. RoboCop the series.
Prime Directive.
No, this is it.
Prime Directives. That's the one I'm talking about.
No, it was on Fox. RoboCop the series, 1994. Right? Is this the one?
No, it was RoboCop Prime Directives.
Oh, I've never seen this.
It's not that great.
I don't care.
It's very stupid. His costume looks terrible. It looks like it's falling off him. So good.
No, there was another one. It was RoboCop the series. Oh no, this is it. RoboCop the series, a 1994 Canadian television show.
To throw it back to wrestling, RoboCop was in WCW. And
he was in WCW. I can't believe this turn that we just took on this.
That's fine.
It's okay. Any other question before we wrap it up?
How much do you guys love RoboCop?
Yeah, how much do you guys love RoboCop?
There's also, I forgot the name of it, but there's a great fan-made short where he's just shooting dudes' dicks off, like in the alleyway in the original movie. Have you seen that?
Yes, I have. And it's done really well.
Yeah.
That fan-made movie on YouTube. Any other questions? I'm gonna wrap it up.
All right. Looks like we're done here. Adam says, I love RoboCop so much you can't believe it. I believe it.
I believe it, Adam.
I wish we could take another call.
All right, let's wrap it up.
I wish
All right,
RoboCop
guys.
would call us.
Our first show back in the studio. Next week we'll be back.
Yeah, baby.
We're gonna be back this Sunday for a watch along. You want to do it?
yeah.
You want to come in the studio? Or you want to do it from your house?
I think I'll do it remote.
Okay.
Because I like to get up, walk around a little bit,
All right, that's fine.
smoke a cigar.
Hop in and out, dude. Hop in and out. All right, guys, that's it for this week. We'll see you all next time.
Later, guys.
See you Sunday. Take care.